Hello, everybody.
Thank you, sorry.
Hi there.
Okay, can we start?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Julianne Hirsch, Chair of the Select Board. I'd like to call this remote meeting of the Select Board Interview Subcommittee to order. This meeting is being conducted remotely in accordance with the provisions of the open meeting law. It will be streamed live and recorded. Before we begin, I need to confirm the presence of the two Select Board Interview Subcommittee members, including myself, who are participating remotely. The other person is Laura Zeiton. I'll call Laura's name and make sure that we can hear her. Laura?
Hi, I hear you.
And we can hear you. And my name is Julianne Hirsch, and Laura, I think you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, and we also have Angie Souden here helping us with the technology. So to begin the meeting, the first order of business is to discuss the fact that we have a fourth applicant for Youth Commission. At our last meeting, we interviewed 3 applicants for 3 available positions. However, because of a communication problem, there were actually 4 applicants. So to be fair, we have to reconsider the vote for appointments to Youth Commission. Laura, if you agree that the only fair way to do this is to reconsider the votes for Ashley Klebanow, Christy Alexander, and Susan Ogar, and our new applicant, because of the new information we have received, would you make a motion to reconsider the vote?
So moved.
And I'll second that. And Laura, are you in favor of reconsideration?
Yes, just based on the fact that there was that misunderstanding at our last meeting, I think that's the best approach for right now.
I agree. And I also vote yes. So we will reconsider those appointments after we interview the candidates. And just to keep this technically correct, Laura voted on the prevailing side, so she is entitled to make that motion. Okay, so let's begin. We have we have a Youth Commission applicant. Her name is Jennifer Persons, and I believe we have the chair waiting to come on.
Yes, we have Erica Steiger, the chair of Youth Commission, and Jennifer Persons is the applicant.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
You're on mute. Hi, Jen.
All right, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Sure
I
can.
hear you.
Terrific. Thank you. I apologize so much. I had in my head that it was at 7.
You know what? There was a moment that I thought it was at 7 too. There might have been something that said 7, but well, anyway, I'm glad you were able to make it. And
Thank
here's
you.
Well,
Hi,
thank you
Erica.
both. Thank you for having me. I know that you guys have gone through this process already, and Erica and I have been going back and forth, and I so appreciate you guys taking the time to talk with me and go through this, even though I know you're already halfway through the process.
Well, I
Well,
appreciate you understanding because it was my miscommunication. So thank you, Jennifer.
Oh, sure. No problem at all.
and we have Erica here. And so generally what we start the interview process with is the committee chairperson explains what they do, the schedule, and all that sort of thing. So we're going to turn it over to Erica, and Erica will tell us all about Youth Commission.
Great.
Hi, well, thank you. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you, Erica.
So the issue, I think, with the time is that our youth commission meeting is at 7.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that's probably it. Just to tell you,
Gotcha.
yeah.
I
just
apologize. We're
no.
juggling a bunch of different schedules in these first few
Oh,
days of
oh
school
yes,
here.
yes, we are.
Ugh.
So the youth commission is it's an advisory board made up of 7 members, a school liaison, and 4 teen liaisons. Our first meeting of like the year is tonight. We typically run, or we decided to run on a school year.
Yeah.
And what we do is we support health and human services. So a couple of years ago now, Youth and Family Services. In the Health Department, it was voted at town meeting that they combined.
Okay.
So the Youth Commission took a little time off, and we came back and we we're in the process of reinvigorating the committee. So this is kind of almost like we're just beginning again. We took time to rewrite our goals and kind of solidify the commission.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, the committee is the eyes and ears of the community when families are concerned. So if there is, a topic that you're hearing a lot about, or you think that something is missing, then that would be brought up at the meeting, and us with Health and Human Services can kind of try to fill those gaps.
Sure. Got it.
Yeah, so that's one of it. The other one is outreach.
Mhm.
So Health and Human Services does a lot of different outreach events. Like one of them, I think next week we're going to be at the elementary schools.
Oh, okay.
So we have a whole list of things now that fall is here. And it's basically helping them to set up a table, bring, they have tons of different supplies, talking about the programs, and we just chat. We just chat with the people as they come in. We make sure they'll have they have contact information. And then, if needed, then they reach out to Health and Human Services.
Oh, okay.
So, and then lastly, we just promote their programs.
Gotcha.
So,
So it really is a partnership with the town Health and Human Services, maybe along with the school supports, like maybe Mary Ellen
yes.
and team. Okay. I
Yes.
see.
Yes. So that's kind of how it works. It's a great group. We're kind of, like I said, we're starting fresh. So we're all I'm very excited. So
Well, sometimes pausing initiatives is hard, but then when you get to step back and regroup a little bit, and I mean, our community needs are changing since
yes,
our
they
kids
are.
were little,
Yes,
right?
they
Um,
totally.
So sometimes that forced ability to step back and come back with a refreshed perspective can be a really great thing.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Good. Great.
Well, I
So
think
at
that's
this point,
it.
Jennifer, we generally are, curious about why you decided to apply for this particular committee, even though it's a commission. Do you have special interests? Do you work in a school? Is that?
I do. So I work at Lincoln Street School. I work in the main office there. So I do a lot of connecting and coordination with FSP, with Mary Ellen, with some of the high school outreach programs. When we moved to Northborough in 2013, we had a fabulous realtor, Judy Boyle. I'm sure you all know her. And she just spoke so highly of the community here in Northborough. And as the time I've spent here with my kids going through Lincoln Street School, I co-chaired the PTO there for the time that they were there. And I've always enjoyed being part of the community, as well as utilizing what has been out there for our kids, like the Northborough Rec Department and the Kids Night Out at the town hall. When we came from Raleigh, North Carolina, it really was such a refreshing perspective to see the community that was built here. So I've always been intrigued by it. And as my kids have gotten older and I've been able to move outside of the school setting to help support, it's just always been an interest to me and a passion. And now that I have time to be able to give back a little bit more, I see so many of the things that some of these groups are doing to support our kids and our parents in town that really need it. And I just think it's a really amazing thing.
There's so many issues now, aren't there?
It's
Phones in schools and social media and
even just social needs and, kids coming into town with very different and diverse economic, cultural backgrounds, and there's just such a need for awareness and understanding and connection.
And when Erica mentioned that your committee is the eyes and ears of to kind of assess the needs of the community, I guess being at Lincoln Street School was certainly, you have eyes on a lot.
Eyes on that. And this is the second year I'll be, because as we know, as our kids get older, it's harder. It's much more difficult to stay connected to the kids in the school. So we do what we can if we have the time. But last year I was able to join as the parent liaison for the junior class, and I'm able to stay on this year as well. And it was really interesting and awesome to connect with the advisors for the class, but also hear from the kids' perspective about planning prom or the senior sunrise. Just that connection to Emma, my oldest, and all of her friends, and really seeing that balance from those preschoolers that come in for speech 3 days a week to what their challenges are, all the way up to the now seniors.
Mhm. So Laura, you must have some questions or comments.
I know. Well, thank you so much for applying. We're so thankful for the really amazing talent pool of people that want to give back. Just out of curiosity, I mean, I love that you've got access to so many kids through Lincoln and through Algonquin. Is there any do you have communication with the other elementary schools? I'm just trying to imagine if there's other ways that you communicate with other people that have firsthand access to some of those elementary school children.
Right. So I really see a community in the principals we have within our elementary schools right now.
Yeah.
I feel like they are moving in a direction of really joining efforts, and I know that they have a lot of communication. So I do hear a lot about things that, Peasley might be going through or Proctor might be going through, of course, in confidential matters.
Yeah.
But it really is interesting how different each school can be, and, Milliken as well. But I do have connections, and I'm in touch with folks that I've known through PTO that I might have coffee with, and just, what's going on in your world.
Yeah.
That networking piece that I was able to really find some great connections. Yeah.
I just do love the ability for having that firsthand knowledge and just trying to figure out how can we expand the reach of the work that these commissions doing.
Right.
And that one piece really stood out to me on your background that I really appreciated. But no, I didn't really have, I understand what the role, I'm glad that you have a good understanding of what the position is and where you would fit in with that. I didn't really have any other questions other than, how can we really make the biggest impact with how we reach the community?
I think another way, Laura, that would be ideal, and I see, again, things are so different from when I might have co-chaired the PTO at Lincoln Street 6 years ago. Everyone was really working in silos.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of cross communication, but I do see the PTO boards even coming together through stuff I might be helping out with our current PTO. So I think they're a wonderful asset to connect with, because they're representing the parents, the kids, and the teachers of each school community.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great place to start.
So I have Erica, are your meetings always in person?
So no, so the meetings are actually hybrid. Most of us go in person, and then the staff is usually there in person. We typically have a couple of members that will join hybrid.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And it's Tuesdays. So as of now, it's the first Tuesdays of the month at 7 p.m.
At the library, right?
This is actually at Town Hall.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Laura, if you have no other questions, and Erica, Erica has to get to her meeting.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on my couch right now.
Oh gosh. You're burning the candle today.
I'm burning the candle, that's right.
No, I do love it. I mean, I appreciate it. Is there one area that the Youth Commission really focuses on that really rings the most? It's hard to prioritize, but if you have a priority, I'd love to know what the one is that you're really excited about.
I think it would be communicating out and really getting the word out there to what the town has to offer and what's already in place. Like I said, when we moved to town, we heard bits and pieces about this and that, and we heard about the kids' night out. Just these different things, the Apple Fest parade, but I do think there's so much more out there that people don't know about. And I think whether that's because of a technology disconnect or a language disconnect, or just an educational piece that, people don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And
well, making town hall accessible, I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and there's so many valuable resources out there we've got so many new people coming into town with different languages and different backgrounds, and just even the fridge and the food pantry, and not just the fun stuff, but some of the necessities too that I think people don't know they're out there.
Yep. No, I thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. It's definitely, I mean, I think all of the work that is done through town hall is important, but being able to match needs with available resources is a real critical. It doesn't matter how many great things we have if there's not a good way to communicate those to people that need them.
Right. And even just recently, my eyes have been opened with certain situations we've had with kids and families coming into Lincoln Street and through the school that I didn't even know that we did. Fortunately, I've been in a place where I haven't had to know about some of these resources, but I do think there's a need for individuals to know everything that's out there.
Well, I thank you for that answer.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I know it's been such a juggle, and I'm just so thankful to have the opportunity to talk to you guys.
Well, it was lovely
Thank
meeting
you.
You as well.
So if do you have any questions, Jennifer?
Oh yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, I've gone back and forth a little bit. I've watched some of your old minutes online, to kind of see the types of things that you're focusing on. And I think it's really cool that Erica was saying you guys are, coming back with a fresh perspective, and bless you.
Thank you.
It's kind of back to that same question as you don't know what you don't know. I know I have a passion for kids and families, and I know I have a passion for community. And as far as what that looks like in an outcome, I'm open to wherever it may lead.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if you have any other questions of me, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay. We'll do that.
Thank you. I will see you all soon. I'm going to jump off.
All right.
Thank
Good
you
luck,
all.
Erica.
Thank
See
you.
you
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Thank you for coordinating, Angie.
Of course, thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Bye,
Thank
Jen.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, we got Stephanie, who is the applicant for Council on Aging, and Carol, the Senior Center Director. Fran, who is the chair, wasn't able to make it tonight, so I'll let them on.
Okay.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Julianne Hirsch. This is Laura Zeiton. And we are the interview subcommittee. So we just kind of talk to applicants for different committees, and then we go to the full board and make a recommendation on applicants and the committees that they're applying for. And Carol, so glad that you could make it tonight.
Yes, I am too.
And would you do me a favor? Could you pronounce your last name?
Grunike.
Grunike. Okay, thank you. So generally how we start is, Stephanie, you're applying for Council on Aging.
Yes.
And the first thing that we ask is that Carol will explain what Council on Aging does, the schedule, and kind of the details of that committee. So I'll turn it over to you, Carol.
Sure. The Council on Aging meets once a month. They currently, I think, have 6 members, and they are an advisory committee to the senior center. So the senior center is open 5 days a week. Tuesday's a long day, Friday is a half day, and the other days we're open till 4 o'clock. And we have a staff of 3 full-time people, and then there's 2 people. We have a bistro. I don't know, have you ever been to the senior center at all?
I have not.
Okay, so the senior center basically has we have a lot of programs, exercise, different social groups and that type of thing. We have a bistro that serves lunch and then dinner once a month. And then we have an outreach coordinator who does social service work and provides people with information and resources. And then we work with the WRTA, the Worcester Regional Transportation Authority, and we have 4 drivers who drive, and we have to we don't do the scheduling, but we still have to coordinate with them. So those are sort of the basics of the operations. And so then the Council on Aging's role is to hear about the different things, give advice. Right now, for instance, we're working on developing a new strategic plan since the last one has kind of come to an end. So that's sort of the overall basics.
Wow, a new strategic plan, that will be
Mhm.
work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's interesting. And we have the old one to go off of. That's always a big help.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Stephanie, generally the first question we ask is what piqued your interest in this particular committee?
I'm interested because I am dealing with 2 elderly parents. And and my dad lives in Maine, my mom lives in New York. It's fascinating how different the states provide programs for the elderly. And so I'm experiencing that on a personal level, trying to get my parents the best help they can. And not just help, but like trying to get them involved in activities, because unfortunately, neither one had a robust retirement plan. So now it's like trying to get them involved in like senior center activities and seeing what's there. And it opened my eyes to um, number one, like how for my parents in particular, neither one of them is very technology savvy. So to get them information is difficult. And since now everything is electronics and what they're doing, like my dad refuses to use a cell phone. So when you get like you can't text him, which is very frustrating, I will admit. But it's those nuance and the caveats of how to get information to people that aren't tech savvy, and how do we reach these people, and even have an awareness of the programs that are available for people in my position that. Like when I looked at all the stuff on the senior center activities, it was very impressive. I tried to get into a Tai Chi class. I'm not old enough to join that Tai Chi class, but that's another thing. But I find that from my position and just trying to get help and see what's available, even on a social level, for both my parents, I don't necessarily know where to go, for information either, just to say like, hey, we could try this or we could do this. Like it's obviously you go to websites and try to figure it out. But I don't find it to be very accessible, and I work on a computer all day long. So um, obviously I shouldn't say that because I do have a job, but in my downtime, I'm looking at stuff up to just try to figure it out. So I'm peaked from a personal level. I do work for the Commonwealth now, so I'm familiar how government works and does not work. I understand budgets. I understand the creative strategies that have to be approached due to limited finances. So I feel like I have a good background. on a professional and personal level, but I've been in Northborough. I moved to Northborough just over a year ago, and I really like the town, and I just want to get involved and be a part of things. And I just figured because of my personal experience right now, um, the Council on the Aging would be a good fit, just for the exposure and to see what I can do to help and coming at it from that perspective as far as how do we do things for seniors that are neophytes.
That's an excellent answer. And
Well, thank you. I've been practicing.
I knew that question was coming, huh? Um, so, so wait a second. You have a parent in New York State
Yes, upstate.
and Maine.
Yes,
So you're also doing a lot of traveling.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there, and we all get there somehow. And you know, and when my friends talk about being in a situation like that, I always say, "Have you contacted your senior center?" But anyway, I'm going to turn this over to Laura. I'm sure she has a question or two.
Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate where your heart's coming from to bring you, and I'm hoping that we can find a way for you to be able to relay some of that personal experience. I am a big fan of the Senior Center and the Friends of the Seniors Center and all the work and the programming that they do. It's really awesome. Highly recommend the bistro. It's always fun to go sit and chat with everyone there. I'm overdue for lunch, Carol. Sorry about that.
Well,
But yeah, I think that the senior center is such a big part of our community, and they do a lot of work there. Is there one specific area, you know, that is really exciting you that you'd like to really be able to lend some of your background to help?
I don't know. It's like as I go through and I look at all the activities, I'm sort of like a kid in a candy shop now. Because like it all sounds really cool and it's like, oh, I would like to do this. I would like to do this. I'd like to get involved in this. The strategic planning to me is very
Yeah,
interesting. My current position is a data manager and I work in analytics. So I'm used to, doing charts and drafts, which can and cannot apply to strategic planning. But I have that very methodical
yeah,
background to bring to the table as far as that goes. Um, but I just because of the level of involvement and I'm new to town government, um, I'm excited and I'm very flexible. I have a very open mind and I whatever I'm sort of at the point where anything that I would be needed to do, I'd be willing to try. And if it's terrible, I also am strong enough to say like, hey, this really isn't my thing.
yeah.
Maybe I should try something else. So I, I I'm almost like I just have too much information and not enough direction where I'm coming at it right now. So like I said, I'm open to the opportunity because I want to learn. And whatever I can bring to the table, I'm happy to share.
That's great. And I do love that data analytics background because one thing that we're facing is trying to, really include more of the data in our decision making on the select board. So I appreciate that you've got that, piece of background to contribute. And I appreciate your flexibility and open-mindedness too, but highly recommend all things related to the senior center. It's a lot of fun there.
It looks like it because like I said, I was looking at the calendar. I read the articles on the new trail that was open. I
Oh, it's
love the
beautiful.
event where they had the kids involved with the seniors for the
Yep.
day. And I think that's great. I think that's fantastic, and I think there needs to be more integration and not
Yeah.
not necessarily isolate the seniors, but have more
Agree.
integration like the kids' day. That's very cool.
Love it. No, I didn't really have any other questions, Julianne.
So, Stephanie, have you been able to view some of the meetings? You know, all of our meetings in town are recorded, and you can just go to the website. You probably have figured that out, right?
Yes. Yes.
And being a
only
computer.
recorded the one so far, one COA meeting. With our last meeting was our first one.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, yeah. We have another one coming up in September, then we'll have two, but yeah, we just started.
And I'm sorry, Carol, did you go over the, like, is there a set time that COA meets?
Oh,
Is it?
yes, there is. It's the second Tuesday of the month at 5:30. 5:30 usually to 6:30, depending. So once
And they usually go like an hour
usually
and a half.
about an hour. Usually an hour. I mean, every now and then you get something that goes longer,
Uh-huh.
but usually an hour. So 5:30 to 6:30.
And one other thing, so there is also the Friends of the Senior Center. Do you
Yeah,
want
the
to,
is a
yeah.
separate nonprofit group, and they do the fundraising for the senior center, and they have their own meeting and their own, but they do attend the board meetings frequently, and usually somebody from the COA board goes to the Friends meeting.
A lot going on there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, no,
I
there is
actually
a
have
lot
the
to do.
meeting for the 9th of this month already on my calendar. I had previously reached out to Fran. I was given her information from Angie. And Carol, I think you were copied in on that email chain. And I was invited to that meeting as an observer. And I already put it on my calendar and planning on going. So
So Stephanie, do you have any questions for us or for Carol?
actually, in Carol's explanation, for what she said at the very beginning, answered the questions that I had as far as like what is actually like this is an advisory committee and the things that are happening there. Because that was the one thing as I was doing research and looking things up, it didn't say what we were doing.
Mhm.
And so it makes sense to me. I actually do have a question. This is a volunteer position, correct?
Yes,
I just want that's what I thought it was. And it's a 3-year appointment? Did I read that somewhere? Is that,
Yes.
or should I say, does that apply to this committee?
So most of the appointments are for 3 years.
Okay.
It the only change would be is if you were filling in for someone who dropped off. But Angie, you can confirm.
Yes, this will be a 3-year term. If someone has resigned and you're filling their term, then you would expire whenever their date was. But since this was an open position, it will expire. It expires, so it's an approximate 3-year term. It'll expire April 30th of 2028.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So if you have no other questions, I don't know if I already said this. What happens after this is Laura and I talk about the applicants for a variety of committees, and then we bring our recommendations to the full board. The next meeting we have is Monday, September 8th. And at that time, the full board looks at the candidates. So nothing can really happen until the full select board meets. But if no one has any other questions or comments, I will say that it was lovely to meet you. Like, nice to see you, Carol.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
that trail is really beautiful.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have every intention of getting over there. It's
Mhm.
always a crapshoot because I do ride a motorcycle. So on the really nice days, it's, do I go walking and hiking when I can do that when the motorcycle's put away, or do I take a ride?
All right. Well, anyway, hope to see you around town and at the senior center. So
That would be great. And I thank everybody for their time, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
thank
Nice
you very
meeting you,
much.
Stephanie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
bye.
Carol. Thanks, Stephanie.
Okay, so
Okay. Now we have for the zoning board alternate position, we have Edward LeBlanc and Paul Tagliaferri, who is the chair.
correct.
Hi, Kylie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Is Kylie the next?
No, actually, Kylie, I let you in by accident. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. We'll see you next time, Kylie. You'll be up soon.
Yeah, no
Sorry,
problem.
sorry.
I think we're looking for Paul.
Yeah, let's see.
Hi. Hi, Ed.
Good evening.
There we go. Sorry about that.
You confused me.
Just keeping everyone on their toes.
Hi, Paul. Do you want to come in? Seems funny talking to a screen like this.
Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Hey, Paul.
Hi. So, hello, everyone. And hello, Edward. My name is Julianne Hirsch. Do you know Laura or?
I do not.
Okay, so Laura and I are the subcommittee for the select board. We we talk to applicants for various committees and commissions and bring recommendations to the full board for final decisions. And I understand that you are applying for the alternate on the Zoning Board of Appeals, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So the way we do it, we changed it up a little bit. We thought it made sense to first have the chairperson describe what you do and kind of, the schedule and what you could expect if you join the committee. So I'll turn it over to you, Paul, and tell us about the zoning board.
Sure, thanks, Julianne. So Northborough Zoning Board of Appeals, I'm currently the chair. We meet probably about 10 times a year. It's typically the fourth Tuesday of every month. Typically, cases have to be filed about a month before. We're looking at obviously, either granting or deciding on special permits or variances, depending on what the application is. I think from a time standpoint, depending on the complexity of the case, we can have something as simple as the Wegmans Plaza needs dimensional variance because the signs are too big or something, to something more complex, which requires groundwaters, site plan review, and the full gamut of things to sort of go through.
Okay, thank you.
So Edward, you were on the zoning board in the town you lived in previously, correct?
Correct. In Cumberland, Rhode Island. Yes.
Right. And are the towns different in any way, like in terms of makeup of commercial versus residential versus industrial?
I would say they're similar. I reviewed, I guess it's called Part 7 of your municipal code, the zoning regulations there. And a lot of those, regulations quite similar. But there were some differences, as you would expect. But generally speaking, yes, quite similar.
Uh-huh. And what types of decisions did you have to make? Was it
Similar to what Paul was just talking about, simple variances. People wanted to put a fence that was higher than allowed or closer to the property line that was allowed. I read through some of the decisions that are posted on the Northborough website, and we had similar cases. One case I read, someone was ordered actually to not begin a gazebo until they had received the proper permits or variances, and they went ahead and did it anyway, and then essentially sought forgiveness later and didn't get it. And we had those in Cumberland, and where I felt comfortable was I read those decisions. I read the early pages of those decisions, and then decided, like, if I was on the board, I would probably decide it this way. And then I read the decision, and generally speaking, what I would have decided was the decision that was made. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities there, a lot of parallels. Yeah.
So your application is very interesting with your background in the Coast Guard.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find that your experience there has translated into jobs in the more private sector or something like this?
Well, I feel my experience in the Coast Guard has translated into lots of things in my adult life. Number one is discipline and routine. And I am definitely a man of routine, and I find that that's productive, and I like that. I like things to be in order and have a routine, and yeah, I mean, I'm not rigid, but yeah, my family would tell you and friends that I'm a man of routine. So
I would think that Paul might agree that this is a characteristic that is beneficial in interpreting zoning laws, that because it's not something that you're required to be creative, right?
yeah, I mean, it's an in my view anyway, it's an application of the standards in the zoning regulations, and there is, some level of discretion, as there should be. And for the routine cases, it's normally pretty straightforward. It can get complicated, particularly if there's some controversy. You can deal with people in a zoning board scenario where can be very emotional for people, and it's quite a challenge to have a conversation when one side is trying to apply facts, but the other side is applying emotion. That can be very challenging.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to turn it over to Laura. I'm sure she has some comments or questions.
I'm so grateful for the work that the ZBA does, and I appreciate your awareness that it's tricky because we are all neighbors at the end of the day, and trying to enforce decisions that are in the best interest of the community, but recognizing the impact on the applicants. So no, I was just gonna ask, like, if you have strategies around how you work to find solutions that are in the best interest of two parties that may be coming from different points of view.
Usually ask questions is a good way to deal with things, to just try to get to the root of the issue. And then, many times you have to be careful, because sometimes boards can get to a point where they feel that they have more authority than they do, or they actually act as if they have more authority than they really do. But, you can ask applicants, especially if they're being opposed by neighbors or something, find out what the issue is. The neighbor's concerned because they're going to plant pine trees, and the neighbor doesn't like pine needles. And so you ask, well, would you consider planting different trees? And you don't have the power to normally to mandate a certain type of tree, but many times the applicant's like, sure, I'll put in, an oak tree, okay, everyone's happy. So usually if you just keep asking questions, you get to the root and can work it out for them. But sometimes, despite your best effort, it just doesn't work out that way. And then you have to apply the regulations that you have, and it can be tough.
Yeah, and I think we all agree. And I'm very grateful for the bylaws that we have. I appreciate that you've taken a look at those already. Was there anything that caught your attention in the bylaws that was like a red flag to you, or something that you wanted to better understand from a ZBA perspective?
Well, it seems at the town meeting that there were some substantial changes made to the zoning bylaws, like 13 pages of changes. So when I read those, I said to myself, okay, that's going to take some time to digest those. And then just reading the bylaws in general, like I said before, there's a lot of similarities, but there's differences. And so, being an alternate, I wouldn't vote at every meeting, but I would be at every meeting, and would offer me a chance to learn by experience, by looking into each of those applications, listening to the questions that other board members have, reading the decisions. So I think that's a good way to begin involvement with the zoning board is as an alternate, particularly for somebody like me who's relatively new to town. So
I appreciate it. Thank you. And if anything ever jumps out that you would like to talk more about, I'm all ears for, well, not that I'm really as knowledgeable as the rest of the ZBA is, but I'm always happy to listen when it comes to bylaw related feedback.
Thank you.
So at this point, Edward, do you have any questions for us or for Paul?
So I think I know how many members are on the board. It's just one vacancy, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then, so Julianne, you and Laura are the committee, and you'll make a recommendation to the town select board? Is that what?
Correct. Yes. We're both select board members. We're considered a subcommittee. And we actually have a meeting on Monday where we will discuss the applicants that we've interviewed.
Okay. And then, so you would anticipate making an appointment Monday?
Possibly, unless something else comes up. And when is your next meeting, Paul, did you say?
It's September 23rd.
I'm sorry, when is it?
September 23rd. It's
Oh,
probably in a
September
couple weeks.
23rd.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 weeks.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and is that a special one for White Cliffs or?
No.
Oh, okay. Just a regular.
It's a continuation of one case, and I believe we have one other. The White Cliffs has not been scheduled.
Okay. All
And
right.
it probably won't be until after whatever time meeting.
I see.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll wait for the process to move forward, and if I'm selected, great, and if I'm not, I'll apply the next time there's a vacancy. So,
Well,
Stay involved. I
yes.
really appreciate that.
Yeah, and we're really, our town is so grateful to all of the volunteers who serve on all of these committees and commissions and boards, and
Yep.
it's a town that's pretty involved, I have to say. I hope you're finding that to be true. So at this point, then, you understand the process. If you are appointed, you'll just have to go to the town clerk and get sworn in, right, Angie?
Yep, so if you're appointed, you'll get you'll get a letter, and it'll explain, if you come to town hall, it'll have, explain what's next. The town clerk will email you a conflict of interest that you have to take, and it'll go from there.
Okay.
And your appointment would be, let's double check. You would have a 3-year term. So it would end approximate 3 years. So they end on April 30th of that 3-year term. So it'd be April 30th, 2028. At
Wonderful.
which point you'd be able to, get eligible for reappointment.
Okay.
And Paul, are your meetings remote or usually in person?
I think technically hybrid, but
Okay.
We've had pretty much the last several meetings have been all in person.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And they're at town hall, I assume, or the town library?
Town hall. It's in the room next to the planning board.
And so
The planning department.
and this vacancy is for an alternate, which is great. But if a regular member should resign or the regular member's term comes to end, how is the alternate considered? Does the alternate compete with anyone else who applies for that position, or is the alternate sort of, we would call it fleeting up into the full member?
I mean, I think it's probably a question for Julianne, but I think the way it's worked in the past, and I've been on the ZBA for probably like 10 years, I think, at this point now, is if a regular member leaves or their term expires and they don't reapply, or even if they do reapply, whoever is interested in that opening can just throw their name in a hat, and then it's up to the select board to make a decision.
Okay.
So
So it goes through a process like this.
Yeah, it'd be
Similar.
another interview process if there were other applicants.
Okay, good.
I appreciate that question. It's always good to have a clear understanding of that. So I appreciate it.
So if there are no further questions or comments, it was very nice to meet you. And and thank you, Paul, for being able to come. And we'll be discussing everything later, and you can watch that, or and Angie will let you know about the decisions. So
Great.
thanks.
Thank you all for your time.
Yeah, you
Appreciate
can
it.
always email me too, Ed. Thank you.
Ted,
Thanks, Paul.
Nice to meet you.
thanks, Paul. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Now Kylie's up.
Yeah, now we've got, so Kylie for Cultural Council and Terry Underwood, who is the chair. Oh, I think I left Susie in.
Thanks for coordinating all this, Andy. This is a lot of people.
All right,
Hi again,
Kylie, now we're
Kylie.
ready.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. How are you? So, welcome. So, Kylie, you are applying for a cultural council. Thank you very much. My name is Julianne Hirsch. I'm on the select board, and I'm actually the liaison to the cultural council. And my friend here, Laura Zeiton, is also on the select board. We are considered the interview committee for that board. And we just talk to applicants for a little while and see, get to know you a little bit, and you can ask questions about the committee. I suspect, have you already been to a meeting or two of the Cultural Council?
Yeah, I went to the last meeting.
Okay. And so at this point, what we, so you probably have an understanding, but I'll let Terry just go through, how Cultural Council deals with Mass Cultural Council, their schedule, and the details of the council. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Terry, and you can talk about your growing committee there.
It's wonderful. So, the Northborough Cultural Council is one of, the last time I checked, it was 329 local cultural councils, so LCCs. And so as long as you can, per the state, as long as you can come up with 5 volunteers with a maximum of 22, as I did some research today from the state website, you are allowed to apply to have state grant money sent to the town for these volunteers to review and decide on applicants, and have to be state residents, and then from there, the state says that, you can come up with a list of guidelines and priorities, and the Mass Cultural Council has their own list to aid us. And then, so we're not operating alone, I guess is what I want to impress, that we have this great safety net and support from the state, and from if you want to reach out to other cultural councils as well. And so we've grown over time from our mandate is to just give grants out, give this straight state money away. And it started out very small years ago. I think roughly around 20 years ago is what I believe. And then it's grown. I didn't know what it was when I first joined, and then it's become, we've been trying to grow in volunteers and grow in what we do. So public art, festivals, all different kinds of things, just trying our hand at what the town would like and what the residents would benefit from most. And this data is achieved through surveys, and the Mass Cultural Council requests us to do once every 3 years to do these surveys. So that's our driver. And if we can come up with other data, that's great. And so Kylie joined us for the last meeting, and it was rapid fire because we had so many things to do and address with a new grant cycle that started as of September 1st. And the window for applications now is September 1st through October 16th. So we are just getting started, and that begins their calendar year.
So
what else can I tell you? Because I could go on. This is passion for me.
Kylie, at this point, we usually say, why this committee, but I think your resume speaks for that. You have a degree in arts policy and practice.
Yeah.
Do you want
Yeah.
to a little bit about what that involves?
Yeah. So when that one specifically was more geared toward Ireland. So because it was in Ireland. So basically the whole degree, the idea was to sort of give you the pieces to run an arts organization. So whether that's running like a festival or especially because like in Europe, a lot of the arts organizations are festival based. So whether it's a festival or like a museum or um, just sort of anything that has to do with like culture and arts, putting on events or running or being part of an organization that specifically is tailored to the arts. And one of the big parts of that in Europe is every country has like an arts council that gives out grants. And so one of the things that we went over in my master's degree in a lot of detail was how to apply for grants to arts council to the Irish Arts Council specifically. And then it covered like a little bit of finance stuff, which I'm not very good at, but but just like basic business practices. And then on top of that as well, like some marketing. We met with with a woman who she worked for the musical Once when it was in Ireland. And so she told us about like a lot of the marketing that she did and sort of marketing strategies. And then there was like a lot of pieces to it where we took classes in theater and in music and visual arts. And it was all based on like the policies that Ireland has for those funding bodies and how you would apply in those, like the policies Ireland has to an arts organization. Yeah. So it doesn't, I found out one of my friends said they don't run it anymore, which is a bummer, but it was definitely like a really interesting degree.
It sounds like it's a very necessary degree if you're in the arts. And the other thing that kind of piqued my interest was, can you just tell us what Design Galway is or was?
Oh, so it was a festival. For my master's degree, we had to do an internship, and Ireland has a really thriving design community. They have a lot of, they're very famous for like sweaters and like sweaters and crafts and stuff like that. So the festival when I joined it was run by this woman, Laura Rigney, and it was once a year. I think it ran for like 4 or 5 years before they kind of like fizzled out. But basically, it was a week-long festival where they just promoted Irish designers. They do like talks with. There was like a milliner who she made hats for like races and stuff, and then there was an animation exhibition and a pottery exhibition, and just it was really focused on more on like functional design. And there was an exhibition on like furniture making and stuff like that, and they would have events where the designers would give talks about their practice or workshops so that you could see like who they were and what they were working on, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So Terry explained that we do a survey to see people's interest. Did you get into kind of the nitty-gritty of how to ask those questions so that it's not just like, well, what do you think, but to kind of direct people's thinking?
A little bit. That was part of like our marketing class, and it's been a while. So because after I graduated, I went back to photography and more applied what I learned to like running my own photography business. So I haven't done as much in the public sector since I graduated, but I know that, but there was a section on survey making, and I'm sure I could find like notes or resources in terms of where to go with that. I also have a friend who she does marketing for a venture capitalist firm who I could always ask her for advice.
Good to have friends like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've asked enough questions. I'm going to turn it over to Laura now.
No, I really appreciate your experience and or your interest in serving on this committee. I see a lot of value in your background. Is there any one cultural council event that really catches your attention that you're looking forward to participating in it?
So far, like I just moved to Northborough last year, so I haven't seen like a ton of stuff, but I really like from the meeting that we had, the apples that they're making for next year. I thought was really cool. And I feel like it's a nice way to sort of make it more visible to people as they drive through. Yeah, and yeah, I like the idea of like doing more fundraising as well, because I know one of the things that most grant applications talk about is they want people who are funded not just by the grantor themselves. Like they like to see multiple streams of income. And I remember from my master's when they talked about arts organizations and even, smaller, if you think about Mass Cultural Council as a funding body for a town local cultural council, they probably want to see something similar, where they like to see multiple streams of incomes, and then they're more likely to give you more funding because you're producing more. So I think finding a way to engage local businesses and bring in other streams of revenue so that we can then put it back into the town and make more, I think is something I'm definitely really interested in. Not that I'm like not very much of a financial person, but I know there's like ways that, whether for example, like if the cultural council did like a art fair or a Christmas fair or something like that, you could rent out tables to people and they pay the fee for using the table, and then they get to keep any of the profits that they make. And that's an easy way where you pay for the rental. You can work out like how much renting tables in the space are going to cost, and then figure, if you rent so many tables, how much you can come back with a profit from just something little like that.
Also gives the artist some exposure. That's
yeah. And I know like one of the big things that a lot of arts funding bodies like to see is they like to see that the artist is actually making money. Like you're not just like getting an artist and then not paying them. A lot of the time they like to see that you're actually like supporting artists and paying them, even if it's not a lot of money. I know they like to see that you're actually, if your goal is to support artists, that you are actually supporting artists.
Yeah, you're right. Laura, any other questions?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, so Terry, your schedule is a little bit like you get really busy during obviously grant cycle and when there's an event. So there's no real set date that you meet, correct? It's a little bit like when the group can meet.
Correct. We average twice a month, and I work to keep the meetings at a maximum of 2 hours, but sometimes it's busy and we need to like the public art, like the apples that she mentioned. So we may break down into subgroups, who's the project owner and what information or what updates there are. So we might have some sub meetings or something that helps us to move forward so that when we come together as a group, it's just better organized. And I would say that, we would love to have Kylie join us, that she's already engaged in asking questions, and it was rude of me not to allow people enough time to introduce and talk about themselves, but I intend to correct that at our next meeting. I'm personally just very passionate about art and how the state, grateful that the state that we live in recognizes the value and what it contributes to a community, mental well-being, physical health, art on the trails, all sorts of things. And I just see that Northborough is really on the beginning stages of that compared to when I started a little over 5 years ago, where there's more visibility happening now, I believe. I've worked hard to make sure that there's, in publications like the Community Advocate and just people talking about it, whether it's a mural, something going on, something coming down the line, some reason for people to connect and not over politics or whatever's in the news at the moment. This is something that can really bring us together and help us all.
And sometimes you work with other groups like the
Yes.
Revolution
Yes.
250. Yeah.
Yep, that has personally been another driver for me, because I believe that working in isolation doesn't go very far. So we recently had a group effort with the Trails Committee, Senior Center, and Health and Human Services, and had an event. It was the first of, we hope there will be some more. And food truck was there, and some arts and crafts artists. It was very kind of the senior center to allow us to move into some of their room, and we were trying to be very careful and considerate for the availability of that space. So, exploring first of was not the fabulous attendance that we were hoping for, but it was also during the summer. So, that's an effort to try and spread out some of the things that happen, not so they're all in the fall or just all in the winter. So, we'll see. It's an experiment, and try and get more people, and just really bring people together, communicate, talk to your neighbors.
Yeah. And it was also a very, very hot day that day.
Yes.
Yes. Sometimes you just need to start something and word has to get around. I don't know if that's, something you learned in graduate school, but
Yeah. One of the things they talked about was one of the most powerful marketing tools is word of mouth, which is crazy to think about, but because people trust their friends. Whereas if they see a random ad on the internet, they're gonna be like, maybe,
Yeah. Yeah. So Kylie, at this point, do you have any questions for us or for Terry?
I don't think so right now. Obviously I went to a meeting, and so I kind of understand how it all works. And then I guess like my biggest question is like, what's the next step?
Oh, okay. So the next step is that after we meet all the applicants today, Laura and I discuss each one of them and we will make a recommendation to the full select board on Monday, which is our next meeting, September 8th. Because in the town government is that the select board appoints members of many of the committees in town. So then after that, you will hear from Angie about the decisions that were made, and she'll tell you how to proceed from there.
Awesome. Cool.
And welcome to town, by the
Thank
way.
you.
Here is
Yeah.
not much.
Yeah. Well, my cousins grew up in Northborough. And we weren't specifically looking to move to Northborough, but when we found a house that worked for us, I knew Northborough was like a nice town because I remember my cousins live over by Tugis, and we always used to go there when I was a kid.
Oh,
I
have
just
you been
remember,
since you've been back?
it's been a long time. We keep trying to go, and then something pops up, but I'm sure we'll go apple picking at some
Yeah.
point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They've grown and they do a beautiful job. So, okay. So, if you have no further questions, we'll let you go. And, so nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you
Thank
as
you
well.
so much.
Thank you,
you.
Kylie.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, and now I have Fabiana in the waiting room. I'm gonna let her in for another applicant for cultural council.
Okay, hello.
Hello,
Hi.
Fabiana.
Hi. Good afternoon,
Welcome.
guys. Thank you.
Hi, Fabiana. So my name is Julianne Hirsch, and I have a select board member here with me, Laura Zeiton. I don't know if you've met Terry Underwood, who is the chairperson of the Cultural Council.
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, so Laura and I are what is considered the interview subcommittee for the select board. The select board in Northborough is responsible for appointing people to various boards and commissions. And we do a brief, just, talk with the applicants, and then after this little interview, Laura and I discuss the applicants, and then we discuss it with the full board. Our next meeting is on Monday.
Okay.
And so generally what we do is we turn the conversation over to the chairperson of the committee, in this case, Terry, who is the chairperson of Cultural Council, and she'll explain all of the wonderful things that they do. And then we'll try to answer your questions and have some questions of our own, okay?
Okay. All right.
All right.
First of all, very nice to meet you, Fabiana, and I am excited that you discovered the Cultural Council, and I'm curious as to how did you discover it?
Well, I like to give back to our community in some way. So I Google our town and then I find the people. That's why,
Fantastic.
yeah. I like to participate.
Fantastic. Okay, so the Cultural Council is you are welcome to any of our meetings to come see. We have one coming up next week. I will add you to our list unless something comes up, but we would love to have you come regardless of I don't know if your schedule would allow, but and I'm very happy to meet with you for coffee as well too. And
Oh, great.
welcome to town.
Okay,
So
thank you.
the Northborough Cultural Council is one of approximately 329 local cultural councils in the town and in the state. And the state of Mass has something called the Massachusetts Cultural Council, and they are the umbrella that guides and directs how the little local cultural councils operate, their priorities, and at the most basic level, the job of the local cultural councils, in this case Northborough, is to get at minimum 5 people, volunteers, residents of a town. And
Okay.
then we say, hey, we've achieved that, and we are ready to accept grant money from the state. This year, we've been given $8,400, which is fantastic. And different towns receive varying amounts. And our main driver per the state is to give that money away. So we are right now in the very beginning of a grant window, which is September 1st through October 16th. So we expect that, and people go online and they will apply. And there are a list of guidelines from the state. And then as a local cultural council, we develop our own. And we try to make sure that whatever those grants requests are for, it could be things from the library, the senior center, the schools, that what they do and the people who service them are, it's going to help the town of Northborough. So for the residents, and we as a group have a lot of fun. We're spending the state's money, but the idea, it's very much, I'm very passionate about this. So it's mental well-being. You get to talk to your neighbors. You help, whether it's acting classes, drama, speakers for the Historical Society. Things are free, open to the public. The summer concert. So while we rarely can fulfill a full request of a grant, we do as much as we can. One member used to say, spread the peanut butter. And the idea is so that we can help these organizations, these groups, these performers, help the artists, but also to help the community and really have some fun. So I'm really proud that our town welcomes what we do. And some of our struggle has just been to get the town to understand that we even exist. So I've been doing what I can with articles in the newspaper, just communicating however I can. So I rely on the input from all of our members to whatever your talent, skills are, to join us and have fun and see what you come up for ideas and help us in what is already going and what's to come around the corner in the future. So, do you have questions for me?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, but I love it. I mean, I am Brazilian. So fun, I love fun. So
Good.
I think I'll be good with that part. So
We have in the past we survey the Massachusetts Cultural Council requests that we do a survey from people from the town once every 3 years, and then that helps drive what we do and where to do things. And it takes time to plan things and figure out what we have, I'm going to say bandwidth to do. So it could be time, it could be talent, it could be money. And so maybe it's running a festival, maybe it's an art exhibit, maybe we have upcycled doors in the past. When I say doors, they are physical doors that would otherwise from older homes that may go into the landfill. I myself have sanded them down and primed them, and then we have a call for artists, and artists come, and then when the doors are painted, then we set them up in the park, and then people walk through, and then we have put them up for auction. So it serves as a recycling, supporting artists because we'll give them a stipend, and then
yeah,
an art exhibit up for like 2 months in Ellsworth Park is where we've been doing this. So we communicate with different departments in the town and try and include different groups in some of the things that we do so we can connect people.
yeah, I love that because it's bring people together, and that's wonderful.
And then it's fun.
That's love. Yeah, it is fun.
And it looks for like from your application that you in your job have a responsibility for, it says creating events.
Yes, I work for New York Life Insurance. I am a financial professional agent. Uh, so I organize seminars, events, and meet with clients. So I'm all the time. It's like go go. So I like to do that. Sorry.
And at this, at this point, generally we say, what you're in, why this particular committee? Do you have a passion for the arts or the
I like to be
community
around. I
part of
like to be around people. That's why I like to talk. I like, I like to be around. I like to have fun. So that's why I thought about this one. I have a degree in communication in Brazil and public relation, and I always like to be around people. I like to talk. I like to change experience and think out the box, you know.
Mhm.
And I think I can help the town with that. So there are a lot of Brazilians in our town. I don't know if you guys know about it. Portuguese speakers in our town, and um, I like to bring a little Brazilian thing inside the town. So I think we are missing it. Not only Brazil, but Spanish and every community.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess that's where the cultural council comes in, huh, Terry?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there are a lot of Brazilians around here. I don't know why
Yes.
they discovered North Voter now and they like it a lot.
We're
Well,
happy they're here, all of you.
so I'm going to ask my friend Laura if she has any questions now or comments.
No, oh, sorry. I appreciate your interest in serving. I love your background. I love that you'll represent a different part of our community and be able to enhance the work of the Cultural Council. So thank you so much for your interest in serving.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me, guys.
You'll find
Appreciate
that
it.
this is a very energetic group, wouldn't you
Yes.
agree?
Yes.
They really do a lot. It's
Yeah.
so okay, so you understand, next steps, and I will say, do you have any other questions or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Okay, so Monday it's gonna be the meeting, you said,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Angie will let you know from there, next steps after that. But I will say it was lovely meeting you. Good to see you,
Oh,
Terry.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
Fabiana,
you. Thanks,
um,
Terry.
just
thank
connect
you.
with that for my contact information so that we can have coffee or just meet up and I can answer more questions, anything like that. I would
I'd
love to.
love to. Yeah, thank you.
Fun.
And thank you, Angie.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
for
you
your
so
help.
much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you volunteering. Thank you. It was nice to meet
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you,
Nice to meet
everyone.
you.
Bye.
All
Good
right.
night.
Have a
Have a
good
good night,
evening.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So next we have
Davis.
We got Jim Davis, applicant for Parks and Rec. There's one opening in Parks and Rec. And Gary, who is the chair.
Hi, Gary.
There we go. How are you? Hi, how are you, Lori?
Hi, Gary. How are you?
It's
Nice
so
to meet
good
you.
to see
Hey,
you.
Angie.
So, Gary, I don't think we've met. My name is Julianne Hirsch, and I'm on this subcommittee with Laura from the Select Board. And thanks for coming, and you will explain about your committee. And welcome, Jim. Thank you so much for applying.
Welcome.
And so we usually start the meeting with having Gary explain what, some of the details and generally what Parks and Rec does. So I'll turn it over to you.
Sure. Well, thank you all for having me. I hope you can hear me. I am currently traveling, so I'm in San Francisco right now. Um, so I'm hoping the hotel Wi-Fi is it keeps up to date with me. So, Jim, it's great to we've actually met through football through the many years that we've chewed a lot of the same dirt, so to speak. I coached in the league on and off for 10 years. I was president for about a 6-year span as well. Have coached 8 years in the youth basketball travel leagues as well. So we've definitely done a lot of the same path work. So it would be fantastic to have you as an addition to the Parks and Rec Commission. The Parks and Rec Commission, it's one of the things we do many things, but it's all about, from my perspective, it's all about putting things out into the community, in terms of the recreation areas, a lot of the parks and the fields that, the Memorial Field, the 142 Park, and everything like that. The new playground that was built on South Street. So there's a large number. The dog park was an initiative that started from several members of the Parks and Rec Commission. So it's all about building up the community from a recreation standpoint and a free use standpoint for the township, and making things that are accessible, enjoyable, and that benefit the entire community and people of all ages. So
Amazing.
So, James, usually at this point we say, what piqued your interest in this group, but it sounds like you've already been kind of involved a little bit. And according to your application, you have done a lot with youth sports.
Yeah, correct. Yes, I can't say no. So
It's amazing. One of the things that kind of jumped out at me, not only are you involved in a lot of sports, but the program that you're involved in with your alma mater, the mentor student. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, that's through the University of New Hampshire. So I like to mentor students, especially within my my old major was sports studies at UNH. I was an engineer first semester, not me. So I like to, and then when I was there, the sport program was more about coaching and physical and athletic training and things like that, where there's a small group of us that had a business track. And so now they have, 20 years later, which is amazing. They have more of a business side. They have a sports business track. They have a sales club there. And so I just love to mentor students and provide, especially with my background. I have a professional sports background. I did minor league sports. I worked for Celtics for a long time, and I'm with another company now that specializes in the sports industry. So just kind of give students a chance to bounce ideas off me and try and chart the path into what I've done. So
Sounds like an excellent program.
it's very cool. It's very cool.
So I'm gonna turn it over to Laura and see if she has any questions or comments.
Thank you so much for your interest, Jim. We're excited to meet you today. Gary and the Parks and Rec Commission do a lot of work. It's really diverse, and I understand you're very passionate about sports. But is there anything that you're really specifically excited about, possibly focusing on within the Parks and Rec Commission that really stands out to you?
I think I get a similar background to Gary, right? Like I coached, I've been on the 135 fields doing soccer back before my son decided to put a football in his hand, and he was done with soccer and he was all in football, and I helped coach football. So I was on those fields. I currently do basketball, right? So I do all the in-town basketball for my daughter.
Awesome.
And then I was my longest tenure was with the baseball program. And I started with Northborough when it was just Northborough baseball, now merged. Northborough, Southborough. I was part of that merger, but through that, I lived at the baseball fields. I was that guy that was going down there on Saturday night. The town did an awesome job maintaining the fields. I would always talk about to other towns, especially when we went to go meet with the other district towns, Charlton and Millbury, whoever. I would always talk about how lucky we were to have Allie Lane and the recreation, how wonderful our relationship was, because she was amazing. And she I should say is amazing, not was amazing, but just easy to work with, great to work with, great communicator, and we work well together. And I can see how the fields and the families would come down there, and I go down there on weekends and putz around and do work and cut the grass myself and weed whack and pull weeds and clean the dugouts and just make sure it was a nice facility to help showcase the town. And I was kind of proud of that, because we would have other towns come in and club teams and whatnot. And I could see how the public space would bring families together and give access to people access to activities.
Thank you.
No,
thank you so much.
In your professional life, Gary, did you have?
No, I just kind of something, and the thing that really stood out with one is knowing Jim and knowing so many people who know and are fond of Jim. The thing that stood out to me the most is one of the things about our commission, and the thing I love personally most about it is every single member of it, and I think Laura can attest to this, from Allie to Scott, Robo, everyone is a roll their sleeves up, get their hands dirty. If something needs to get done, let's just do it. We're doers. You are cut from the same cloth. And that was one of the things that personally I am most excited about, because it's always good when you add someone to a committee, a commission like this, where they fit in very seamlessly. They have the same type of work ethic. They come from the same background. The thing I liked about your professional fit too is it's all about experience. Your job is cultivating experiences, enhancing experiences. And that's what we're trying to do for Northborough. We're trying to enhance the experience of Northborough for everybody, through varieties of facilities, through parks, through things like that. So I'm excited for you. So I just wanted to say that.
I love the way you described cultivating experiences. I think it's a really good way to just kind of put everything that you do under an umbrella. And the experiences are awesome from the programs I've participated in.
Do you have any input into the financing of all of this, or no?
Was that a question for me?
No, it's for Gary, I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you have any input into the financing of, nothing gets done without a little bit of money, right?
Well, sometimes yes. I know Allie and Scott specifically are very, very active in filing for grants and things like that. So a lot of times we are facilitating the funds for the projects.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like your professional experience, James, is not just with the sports, but making it happen, and human resources, financial resources.
It's where I mean, where I am now is it's rolling up your sleeves. And if I work right now at the top of the Prudential Center, where top of the hub used to be. Is now a 3-floor like View Boston attraction. So I run the sales and marketing for that. And that is we weren't intended to do events up there, but I started, and they brought me in to help with ticket sales because of my background. And I had one events person. So I think I lived there in November 23, rolling tables, flipping rooms. And I now have a 10-person staff. So I built the team up, but it's funny, through that, I've joined the Massachusetts Recreation and Parks Commission. I've gotten to know their executive director. And through that, I've had to go speak with some of the area towns and talk to them about bringing different camp groups and things like that. So I've had some experience with the overall Massachusetts Park and Rec Association, which has been really interesting.
Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of people really enjoy that.
New Boston is amazing.
Yeah. I
I'm a
haven't.
It's a
big
lot of
fan.
fun. Yeah.
Told me. So at this point, do you have any questions for us? It sounds like you know a lot about what's going on with this commission, but any questions about process or duties, meeting times, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess just a general, like, just being the new person, when like I think if I were to be able to join the board, I guess, right, take some time and like learn all the ins and outs, but would love to, I'm doing that right now. I'm on the football boosters for Algonquin to help fundraise money. A little different with all the high school MIAA rules versus with
it's a
little
little
league.
different.
Oh, Paul Cacciatore is not even like, Jim, it's not little league anymore. You have to
Yeah.
follow. I'm like, okay. I just like I help with the fundraising and things like that. So, but yeah, like some of the, I guess not expectations, but like some of the meetings, and I think it's once a month, and like, is it just like discussing projects and
Yep.
initiatives and things like that, or?
That's so we try to meet once a month, depending on quorum and things like that.
Mhm.
But our meetings typically run in several pieces. We get kind of state of the unions from the parks standpoint, um, from the everything from summer camps and what the recreation department is planning. We also, because the head of the DPW is part of it as well, we typically go through almost like a DPW report, and they give us the status of all the recreation areas, because one of the things we have to handle is the maintenance on all of these fields. So we're constantly talking about the water drainage on the 135 parks and things like that. So we're talking about not just where new projects are going to occur, what can we do to enhance the community, but the upkeep and the management of the facilities in play. So we spend a lot of time talking about it. And the good thing, like I said before, is we have the people who are guiding the resources to roll it up and make things happen. So we spend a lot of time, and then every meeting we dedicate towards new business, where we can talk through potential new projects, things going on in the community that we can get involved in, and how can we, just as a committee, make these recreation areas, the facility areas, the best they can be, and any opportunities for us to scale out what we can do for the community.
Awesome. That's
I
great.
have to
Thanks, Gary.
apologize. I don't know if you've heard the background noise here. My granddaughter is with me, and we have loved the splash pad.
Yes.
Anyway, so any other comments, questions, or anything like that?
Not for me. I'm good. I appreciate everyone's time and the consideration.
Well, it was great to meet you, and thank you for all of the work you do, Gary. Thank
Yes.
you for your committee and all the work you do. And it's sometimes we forget that it's also pulling weeds here and there, right?
That's a large part of it, and I make the comment a lot, and actually Jim knows this better than anyone. I remember I used to give the example of Doug Pulsiver and I on Saturdays and Sundays, going out and lining the fields for the first Sundays for practices and things like that. Sometimes it's a lot of people don't understand how the sausage is made, so to speak. So the great thing is I get the opportunity to work with the people who make the sausage in Northborough for everybody in these parks and recs, and it's an honor for me to be a part of it. And I know Jim would be a perfect fit as well.
Well, it's good for the rest of us to be reminded of that also. So thank you very much. So Angie, this is a 3-year appointment, correct?
So this will be a 2-year because of the Tracy who resigned. Her appointment was up on the 2027. So it'll be approximate 2-year term ending in April 30th, 2027. But then you'll be eligible for reappointment at that point.
Okay. All right. Well, if there's no other questions or comments, I will say thank you very much.
Thank you
and
so much,
lovely to
Tim.
meet
Thank
Yes,
you,
you.
Gary.
thank you. Thank you,
Great
Gary.
to see you, Laura. Good to
Awesome.
see you,
Thank
Jim.
you.
Pleasure. Great to see
See
Angie.
you soon.
Great to see you,
Bye.
Jim.
We're done.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye all.
Okay, so then we have community affairs. We've got Emily Justice and we have Susie Szylika, who is the chair. And this is our last interview. Hi, Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hello.
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Susie.
It's amazing. Oh, it is still bright out, actually.
Susie, you love your car.
My office.
Anyway, hello, Emily. My name is Julianne Hirsch, and I have Laura Zeiton with me. We're the Select Board Subcommittee interview subcommittee, and we talk to applicants about the committees that they'd like to join, and then we make a recommendation to the full board. So thank you for applying. And so the first thing we generally do is ask the committee chair to explain what they do, the schedules, and kind of the details that you are probably interested in. So I'll give it over to you, Susie.
So the Community Affairs Committee, we are usually a 9-person committee. We have been down some right now. We do get confused with the Cultural Council. So we are a town entity, unlike the Cultural Council, which is funded by the state. So our calendar, I don't have my notes in front of me. I should have grabbed them. But our town calendar usually goes from we start with Kindness Month. We used to do week, and I believe we're in our 4th year now. And it's just expanded to a month because we encourage different committees and organizations, schools throughout the town to participate. And even with the coffee hours for different people in town hall to participate. And I literally have so many participants now that I can't squeeze them into 1 week. So it's enlarged into a week. So it's in February. And then we go into the Louise Houle Town Cleanup. Louise Houle is the founder of our committee back in the 80s. And it's so that's why it's named after her. She loved the town cleanup. I believe that was probably their first and most popular event. And so that's when volunteers around town clean up the town. So that's usually the last weekend in April. Last year it was in May, and we just kind of work around April break for the schools. And then we go into our summer concert series, depending on 4 or 5. And we're already working on that. So we're already asking bands to schedule. I like to say that we get bands that other towns don't have to get people here. I don't know if you've ever attended any of our concerts, but the cars park along the edge of Ellsworth Park I live across the street from the park. They park into my neighborhood and we love it. And that's basically, we only receive $500 from the town for the whole year. So that's part of what we sell to our sponsors. Like, you will get your name out, but you're also like, we're bringing people together from all different towns, like all of our surrounding towns. I advertise in Westboro, Southboro, Shrewsbury, and we just love it. We love to bring people together. I just like stand in the center of Ellsworth Park and I look around and I just love it. Like, it's like my heart just grows because you just see people like playing basketball and listening to the music and playing pickleball and, volleyball and dancing. And I love it. And then we go into right now, Angie, my agenda will be coming this week on time. We're going to be having a meeting next week. to plan our jack-o'-lantern. We go back and forth between the contest and the not contest. We get more participants when we have a contest in the voting, and that's usually the last weekend in October. And this year we're hoping to have like some different age groups for anyone that's watching. We're going to have different age groups, and we hope to have an adult category. I have 2 middle schoolers. We're hoping to really like push it at the middle school category because some of our participants are growing up, and we think that they're just so artistic. So I'm hoping to really push it at the Milliken age group and then the younger ones. So they're not competing basically against, the little ones. And then we just, I've had some ideas. I've met with our town administrator. We have some ideas if you come to our meeting next week about getting more organizations in the town involved and kind of linking stuff together. And then we go into, I help out with a menorah lighting. We don't really fund it or anything, but I make a flyer because I do love to, I love Canva. So I love that. But we did fight to get the menorah in town, and that was completely funded by outside groups and everything. But we love to bring people together for that. We do the tree lighting in honor of Neil Ellsworth, who was killed in the Vietnam War, and have the children's chorus for that and everything. And then we have the house decorating map, which Allie can do now. I love the meme of the cat typing, because that's like, that used to be us. And then she's like, oh, I can do that in like 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh. So Allie from Rock kind of helps out with that. And we might bring back a contest. We're talking about doing a contest aspect with that. Again, even though the same people win, it did bring a lot of, it brought a lot of light to the small businesses in town. I'm someone who, I love to support our small businesses. I've made friends with a lot of the owners. I pop in when a new business opens and I'm like, hi, I'm Susie. I'm with Community Affairs. And they're just like, oh, is that economic development? And I'm like, no. But it brought a lot of light to them, and we might just do a random generator. So that was something, we don't like to we're always looking to other towns for new ideas. Kind of just how we work. But it's been challenging because we've been down to 6 people for a very long time. And it's been a little bit stressful in the last, I would say, 6 months to a year. So we would love to have you join us. And I'm just meeting you. I don't even know anything about you. And I'm like, but if you have any questions for me, that's pretty much, like what we do.
Do you all meet on a weekly basis, I assume?
Oh, no. Yes, I should add that. So we meet monthly from like September to June. And we're very text driven because a lot of the decisions, we vote on minutes and budget and any big expenditures in our meetings. And we have to go like by the publishing rules of the agenda and everything. But like, it's like, have you talked to so-and-so? What do you guys think of this? Making the flyers, like, can you guys proofread this? Like, everything's driven by basically text because that's the fastest. The grants for Wegmans, the grants for this or that, or, I met someone and they want to sponsor, what do you guys, we can't wait for that monthly meeting. So that's pretty much how we get a lot of things done. But anything big, as in big purchases, big, expenditures, stuff like that, that's all done in the public meeting.
Cool.
Yeah. But proofreading definitely is like over text, because I'm like, they're like, you spelled that word 3 different ways on one flyer. Like, okay, yeah.
Good to have those proofreaders, right?
Yeah.
Emily, is there something in your background that piqued your interest for this particular committee?
Great question. Yes and no. I have always wanted to be a part of something similar to this. I have just been a renter, like the typical, unfortunately, millennial story that a lot of people have. And we bought our first house this past December, so I'm pretty new to Northborough. Um, and I just want to jump in and get involved. This is going to be the place that my daughter grows up. She'll turn 4 in November, and I just want to make it the best place it can be.
I think that's a good decision, a good.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm going to ask Laura if she has any questions or comments.
Yeah.
I love your desire to serve, and I am a big fan of all the community affairs events. I think we do a lot that Susie and her committee create these awesome events that we get to be a part of, and I'm so grateful for that. So thank you for your interest. They definitely wear a lot of hats, and they do a lot with the people and the efforts that they have. Based on, and if you don't have an answer, that's fine, but is there one part of this committee that you're really most excited to use your background to contribute to? And I know it's a wide question, but
yeah, I think that just listening to everything that Susie had described, I think a lot of it is communication surround it. Like, I think that the social media aspect I would really like to help with if that's something that is you all have considered exploring. I think that I would be an asset there. I don't use that as on my professional basis, but I spend unfortunately a lot of time on social media, and I feel like I could do very well with it. But I think that I'm very detail oriented. Give me a list, a schedule, I will attack it. That's kind of my mentality. So I will make sure that whatever it is gets done. I think that the summer concert series and the Christmas stuff sounds super fun. One of the things that I'm sure this may sound lofty goals, but one of my dreams of joining this was I would love to somehow figure out to start a farmer's market in Northborough. I don't know if that's possible. I've done zero research, but we can, you guys can tell me I'm crazy at a later date, but just a dream of mine. So.
Mine too.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. We'll figure it out together.
It's a lot of work, I think.
I will say before in research, very minimal research, I did look up all of the things that it does require, but I can do it. We can do it.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the identity of Northborough is it used to be a lot of farms, and luckily we still have a lot of farms. So
yeah.
Big part
fits, yeah. Wow. Okay, so Susie, do you have anything else to add? And Emily, do you have any other questions?
No.
I should add that we meet, we try to keep to the schedule of the third Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m., usually at town hall, in the rec department. And but this month we were going to do a little bit early. Sometimes we do shift it because we're trying to get pumpkin planning in.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it. So
I literally live on part. I live right near the library, so I can basically walk to town hall. So that's not a problem.
Perfect. And if anything ever came up with your kids, even with me, I think I had kids sick. We do hybrid meetings too.
Okay.
For our committee members.
Good to know.
So we're very flexible.
Flexible.
So
that's good.
So if there's nothing else, then I will say it was lovely to meet you. Good to see you, Susie.
Thank you, Emily. Susie, thanks for everything.
Yes.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Angie.
Bye.
Yeah, have a good
Bye.
night.
I don't know how to get out. Just shove me out if you need to.
I don't think we can.
Okay, let me see.
Bye, Susie.
Okay, so now,
Angie, thanks for coordinating so many people.
course.
This is like no small feat.
But
okay,
it was great to have so many volunteers. So
Amazing.
I'm glad it all worked out. So I'll
No,
be
I
in the
really
background if you
appreciate
need me.
it.
If you guys have any questions, I'll be in the background.
Thank you
okay.
very much.
All right, thank you. Okay, so should we start with Youth Commission, I guess?
That sounds great. I'm just going to pull up the motions again. I'm so sorry. I lost the motions. Got the script. Okay, so do we want to make a motion first, or do we want to start just reviewing the candidates? What are your thoughts on this?
I think we should review the candidates, yes.
Okay, that sounds great. I'm just going to try and pull up, just that I've got them in front of me. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so candidates for Youth Commission. I am incredibly grateful for everyone that has expressed their interest, and I'm blown away by the different backgrounds that they have. I liked hearing what Jen had to talk about. One thing that I really loved is that she has got firsthand, communication with students, and she's in a position to really be able to communicate to parents, maybe before they reach a situation that is critical, about the different resources available through the town that can help them. It sounds like she's already doing a lot of that. I would like to lean on her a bit more just to help, get more collaboration. She's one person, but she has the ability to touch 4 elementary schools. So I thought, and she's enough energy and interest and experience in the town to really be able to provide that. I like that she's already really taken a lot of the initiatives, in terms of being a parent volunteer for the high school. So it's just those 2 demographics in particular are really beneficial that she can access. I also love that she recognized some of the changing demographics of our community in terms of, maybe people aren't able to access these resources because of a language situation or a technical situation. And, I feel like when we're doing the work that we're doing, it is constantly such a trick to figure out how you can best relay this information. And it sounds like she's also got some resources to help with that. So, those are my notes on Jen. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, exactly. I had, I think it was Erica said the members need to be the eyes and ears of the community.
Yeah.
She surely fits that need. So yeah, she would be a great member of the Youth Commission. So we have a very difficult decision to make because we have 4 applicants for 3 positions. So, I think bearing in mind that the Youth Commission is needs to have people who have been who have a lot of ties to the community, kind of. Can we decide on the 3 people that we would move forward? Susan Ogar, of course, she's done so much volunteer work. I remember her passion. She just loves working with kids. And of course, Ashley in her, in her business even, she has a lot of ties to Northborough families. And kind of a passion about reaching out to younger families. And Christy has, she has a lot of personal experience in this kind of thing. I refresh my memory. Has she has she done a lot of like liaisoning with other youth groups and stuff? I don't recall that.
I definitely she recognizes the need for all children to, you know, to be supported and to participate in activities. I know that she was very passionate about it. I don't know that she had the same feet on the street access to those different groups, but she's definitely aware of, you know, some of those needs, you know, that exist in the community. But when I do think about, you know, the best candidates to really be able to touch as many people that are already involved in capacities, I'm not sure that was one of the areas. I mean, I hate to say anything. I think we're very fortunate to have this problem, but I don't think she had the same access to those groups that Jen and Ashley and Susan had.
Yeah, I have to agree there. So I guess we're kind of in agreement that the three people we would move forward would be Jennifer, Susan, and Ashley.
Yeah, and I do want to say I'm so sorry for the miscommunication that created this situation, and I hope that we can find another place. Christy seems very flexible and very willing to want to serve. So if there's a chance that I'm happy to have a conversation with her just to see if there's another board that would be of interest, I'd love to put her passion, you know, in another capacity. And I hope that would be something she's open to. But I agree with you. Just, you know, the youth commission is rebooting. They're really, you know, in this, you know, they're in this, I guess, time crunch right now where they're really looking at the way to make the biggest, you know, the biggest impact on our community. And I think that these people will help them really reach those wider audiences.
So it looks like there's 1 2-year term and 2 3-year terms. Who would you recommend for the 2-year term?
Okay, say that again.
It looks like there's a position for 1 2-year term, and the other 2 positions are 3-year terms. What would you recommend for that?
I mean, honestly, I'm open with any arrangement. I'm just looking, you know, Susan's got 20 years of experience. Ashley's, you know, got young children. She's, you know, she's looking at ways to serve the community with younger, you know, families. Jen's been with Lincoln Street for several years. I mean, I'm flexible. What are your thoughts? And I think they all express, you know, no challenges in the requirements of the term and the timeline for the meeting. Do you have a better strategy for, I mean, how do we pick this?
No. And I don't know that it really matters.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I was just
Andy, do you have best
say,
practices?
they're always, and at that point of the end of their appointment, they always are eligible to be reappointed. So we reach out at the end. They get a letter from me, an email, and if they want to be reappointed, then they go right on the list, and it goes, you know, to get voted on again at the select board meeting. They don't have to do this interview process again. So I would think maybe because maybe Jennifer went today, have her do the 2-year term, and have Susan and Ashley do the 3-year. Again,
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jen will say for 2 years. And okay. Did you want me to make the motion?
I would love that.
Okay. Madam Chair, I move to recommend the select board appoint Ashley Klebanow for a 3-year term, Susan Ogar for a 3-year term, and Jen Persons for a 2-year term to the Youth Commission at their next scheduled meeting, ending on, wait a minute, I goofed this up. These have to be 3 separate. I'm sorry, can we start again?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's
Thank
okay.
you for helping me with this. Okay. I move to recommend that the select board appoint Jen Persons to the Youth Commission at their next scheduled meeting for an approximate 2-year term ending on April 30th, 2027, at which point they will be eligible for reappointment.
And I will second that motion. And it has to be roll call vote. Laura, how do you vote?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. Okay, so we will move that candidate forward. Okay, now for the 3-year term.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I move to recommend that the Select Board appoint Susan Orgard to the Youth Commission at their next scheduled meeting for an approximate 3-year term ending on April 30th, 2028, at which point they will be eligible for reappointment.
I'll second that roll call vote. Laura, how do you vote?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. Motion passes. And then for the 3rd vacancy.
Madam Chair, I move to recommend that the Select Board appoint Ashley, I can't pronounce it,
Lebanow?
Lebanow to the Youth Commission at their next scheduled meeting for an approximate 3-year term ending on April 30th, 2028, at which point they will be eligible for reappointment.
And I will second that roll call vote. Laura, how do you vote?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Motion passes.
I'm so sorry. I'm so fluffy today.
It's, you know, the
Disorganized.
technical things.
Yes, I don't want to make a mistake.
Okay, Council on Aging, Stephanie.
Stephanie Thomas.
Sorry?
I was just saying Stephanie Thomas.
Yeah, right. Let me go back to my notes. Gosh, there was a lot today.
I know. So I'll just jog your memory. Stephanie initially became aware of some of the unique needs of the seniors based on going through 2 elderly parents, one in Maine, one in New York. And she was eager just to see what Northborough does. And then she became interested in some of the programs. So I love that she's already ready to sign up. Just in case anybody's wondering, you don't have to be a senior to participate in their programs. That's my gentle PSA. She does work in state government, so she has experience with budgeting, which if we learned anything last week at our financial summit, we need to be really creative in how we spend our money. And she definitely has this analytical background where she's going to really be able to look at the data and hopefully be able to contribute some thoughtful deliberation to that decision-making process. She's involved in strategic planning, and I know she expressed an interest in helping the Council on Aging with those efforts. And she also, the part of her that I loved the most is she mentioned that she wants to see more collaboration between youth and seniors. And I agree that that's a really thriving, a benefit of a thriving community is just having the collaboration. So those are my thoughts on Stephanie.
Yes, that was a good summary of her interview. Yeah, I agree that especially the working for the Commonwealth and understanding budgets. So would you like to make a motion about Stephanie?
It would be my honor. Madam Chair, I move to recommend that the Select Board appoint Stephanie Thomas to the Council on Aging at their next scheduled meeting for an approximate 3-year term ending on April 30th, 2028, at which point they will be eligible for reappointment.
And I'll second that. How do you vote, Laura?
Definitely aye.
Likewise, I vote aye. Motion passes, and Stephanie will move forward. Okay.
We're up to Edward LeBlanc.
Zoning Board of Appeals.
I know.
So, for the alternate position, Edward LeBlanc, who comes to us from Rhode Island, has done a lot of work with the Coast Guard, and I would say that he impressed me with how like organized and clear he is, and and also, I mean, he's had a lot of experience in his previous town. I think he'd be a great alternate.
Yeah, I definitely share that. I love his very thorough background from Rhode Island. I love that he's already dug into our bylaws. I don't know if it's good or bad that he already recognized that we have a lot of zoning and planning board related bylaws that we review at town meetings. And I like that he's gone back and looked at decisions, and he shared with us that he would have, come to similar conclusions that our decisions do. It's always nice to validate that decision-making process. I appreciated that he recognized that he can't be rigid as much as he thrives in process, which I love, because you really need to have a very process-oriented decision-making practice when it comes to the DBA. And it's just, I guess at the end of the day, I like that he was very aware of how sensitive these decisions can be when you're, either helping neighbors with conflict or trying to come to the best decision. But at the end of the day, he recognized that he has to make decisions that fit the bylaws and are going to, be in the best interest of the town. So those are some of my thoughts on Ed LeBlanc.
Yeah, he will, I think he'll be a real great addition to that board.
Yeah.
So would you like to make a motion?
I feel like I'm getting more into the swing of it now. Madam Chair, I move to recommend that the Select Board appoint Edward LeBlanc to the Zoning Board of Appeals as an alternate at their next scheduled meeting for an approximate 3-year term ending on April 30th, 2028, at which point they will be eligible for reappointment.
And I'll second that. How do you vote, Laura?
Aye, please.
And I also vote to move Mr. LeBlanc forward. Okay, so next we have Kylie, who has—
What a neat background she has.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, I'm so grateful. We've had Terry present a few times, and her passion for the work that they do is, I wish I could bottle it and take some of that in other aspects of my life, because she's really got such a thorough appreciation for the work that they do. And I know that the town responds to that. I love that Kylie's got some neat backgrounds as it relates to her policy and experience with art policy, which I thought was neat. I thought it's good that she's familiar with how arts councils work and that she's done this before. She recognized some of the benefits of marketing strategies for the work that they're doing, and the experience with surveys and really gauging what the community is going to be interested in. I love that she's already participated in the meeting. She's met with members. It sounds like there's going to be a more, there's going to be an upcoming welcome, where everybody will get to know each other. But yeah, really neat background that she brings, both locally and from abroad.
Yes. Oh, and to have an educational background in this kind of thing will be a real asset. So so there was a question of how many vacancies there are. There are several vacancies, so we could technically appoint or recommend both candidates.
Yeah.
Would you like to make a motion to recommend Kylie first?
Sure. Madam Chair, I move to recommend that the Select Board appoint Kylie Harrigan to the Northborough Cultural Council at their next scheduled meeting for an approximate 3-year term ending on September 8th, 2028, at which point they will be eligible for reappointment.
And I will second that motion. How do you vote, Laura?
Definitely aye.
Definitely aye for me too. Okay, so that passes. And then we have Fabiana.
I love that she went to the website to find the board. I was so happy that Terry asked that question about how she found out about it. I like that her desire is just to give back and to get involved. I love that she wants to really focus on ways to bring the community together. I love that she organizes events professionally. That's definitely a skill as much as an art, but she also seems to really enjoy creating events. Anyway, it's a lot of work to be able to have the ability to create the events and then also be able to enjoy them. So I appreciate that she is really all hands on deck. And I do love that she's going to bring her Brazilian culture to the table and hopefully help us reach a different demographic of our, ever-changing town. So not specific to the Brazilian piece, but even the Spanish culture, I really like that she recognized that there is more that we can do together. And I love when you bring different ideas to the table to really create these special events. So I love her. I mean, I love everybody's background, but that was some of the points of her interview that caught my attention.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And she seems to be very enthusiastic.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you like to make a motion?
It would be my honor. Madam Chair, I move to recommend that the Select Board appoint Fabiana Santos to the Northborough Culture Council at their next scheduled meeting for an approximate 3-year term ending on September 8th, 2028, at which point they will be eligible for reappointment.
And I will second that motion. Roll call vote. Laura, how do you vote?
Aye, for sure.
And I also vote aye. That motion passes. Okay, Parks and Rec, James Davis.
Wow, another like what a neat background. So I thought James had some neat backgrounds. Like he's working with Mass Parks and Rec Commission already on the state level. How cool is that we'll be able to have that inner networking opportunity? I love how he's got, some backgrounds there to really help us fully embrace what we can do with our local parks and recreation. He's definitely volunteering with a lot of groups. I love his roll up the sleeves and go do what needs to be done. I mean, we've definitely got a lot of people in our community that are like that. And he seems like the type of person that'll dive right in. He's got lots of youth sports experience. I love that Gary Maglino commented about how they want to create recreational experiences for people in our community. And I think that really embraces the whole method or mission that Allie and the Parks and Rec team is on. I do love that James already has relationships with Allie, knows Gary, so he'll really be able to get right involved. And I think because of all of the different youth sports he's participated in, he's going to be able to really understand what is going to help create those positive experiences for the community. And those were a couple of, he did mention something with the Celtics. I don't know if he can get the Celtics to Northborough, but I'll just put it out there. They're always welcome.
Well, I mean, how can you, what a broad, I guess I would say he has a very broad experience from like Little League to the Celtics. So I think
what better way to inspire and create experiences than by bringing a professional basketball team to town?
Yeah. So anyway, he will, I agree with you. Your summary of his interview was fantastic. And would you like to make a motion?
It would be my honor. Madam Chair, I move to recommend that the Select Board appoint James Davis to the Parks and Recreation Committee at their next scheduled meeting for an approximate 2-year term ending on April 30th, 2027, at which point they'll be eligible for reappointment.
I'll second that motion. And now we vote. Laura, how do you vote?
Aye.
I also vote aye, and that motion passes. And then we have Emily to Community Affairs.
What a neat, I love that she wants to get involved and also create experiences for her daughter who's 4. And I think that's a special way to give back for an event that's definitely going to be involved and enjoyed by her child. I love that she's got a desire to want to be a part of our town government. And I think she'll be very helpful. I saw Susie was very excited about some additional help with communication and social media. And she can just really, I appreciate her desire just to get in, help out, do what's needed to be done, see where the areas are that she can really make a difference and to just, help do that work. But really great, strong people to add to the committee and to really be able to continue those great events that the Community Affairs Committee organizes.
Yeah, and didn't she also mention that she's very good at social media, which is always a help with any of these organizations. So would you like to make a motion?
It would be on my honor. Madam Chair, I move to recommend that the Select Board appoint Kylie Harrigan to the Community Affairs Committee. Emily Justice. Oh, I was on the wrong one. I'm sorry. Okay, let me start again. It's been a day. Madam Chair, I move to recommend the Select Board appoint Emily Justice to the Community Affairs Committee at their next scheduled meeting for an approximate 3-year term ending on April 30th, 2028, at which point they will be eligible for reappointment.
I'll second the motion. All in favor. Laura, how do you vote?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. Motion passes. And is there anything else? Angie, can you tell us, is there anything else we should do at this point?
I just want to mention that the second applicant she's on the agenda for the Community Affairs but she decided just with her workload and her young kids to kind of put off joining the Community Affairs Committee. It's not a no, it's just not right now. So I just wanted to address that's why we didn't get to that on the agenda. So, but I think everything else we covered. It was a very successful night.
Yes. And
Amazing work organizing schedules.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
yeah, wow, that's a
Thank
feat.
you guys for listening to everybody and great questions and great
It-
summaries too.
It
And
appears
so,
that volunteering for Northborough Town Government is like the hottest thing to do right now. So thank you for helping us get all these great people to the right boards and committees, and thank you to the applicants as well.
yes, and
Yeah,
Laura's always
definitely.
very good at this, but we are very grateful to the volunteers, and
Yeah.
it's what makes Northborough special. So at this point, would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to adjourn
I'll second.
at 8:30.
I'm all in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you,
Have a good
Angie.
night, Angie. Thank you. Thanks,
And
Julianne.
thank everyone
Have
who
a good night.
participated tonight.
Yeah, definitely.